What's up guys, my name is Ace and welcome back to The Breakdown, the series where I analyze gameplay to help you improve. In today's episode, we're going to be analyzing a Black Ops 2 PC gameplay from TheChaseAR. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so starting it off, the first thing I noticed is we didn't actually get to see what class he's using, but he is using an Overkill class with a sniper rifle and the Vector. Now, normally, I don't really recommend using Overkill. I feel like it's a little bit of a waste of perks and like perk points and slots because you can always just pick up guns off the ground if you wanted to. So in this map, it does kind of work out for him and he does play to the strengths of his class. He does rush when he has his SMG out and he does snipe and pick off some nice sniper kills. But I don't typically recommend using Overkill. This one's kind of up to you, but if you're trying to do as well as you can possibly do, I would say stay away from using an Overkill class. So as he spawns in, the first thing that he does is he runs over to this really predictable piece of cover, but he doesn't use it in the predictable way, which I kind of like. He's being really sneaky and unpredictable here. He's cutting off the line of sight to the top of that blast shield thing where snipers can basically head glitch on, and they always have the advantage when they're up there. So I like that he cut off that line of sight, laid down, took his shot, and then he got out of there. You'll also notice that he switches to his SMG when he's rushing around, which is really smart. He's not trying to run around with a sniper rifle. He switches to his SMG to rush. And he's using cover very well here. You can see he's got great aim. I don't really recommend dolphin diving into a gunfight. It did work out for him in this situation, but I really think that enemy probably should have killed him if he were a little bit better or was paying attention just a little bit more. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I would never dolphin dive into a gunfight, or very, very rarely. Now right here, I like that he's playing to the strengths of his SMG, and he's also being patient. So he pushed up, he avoided the longer line of sight through that doorway, and he just sat in this corner just for a couple seconds. He's not just camping here all game. He's just waiting and hoping maybe an enemy will happen to run by. If an enemy did run by, that's a free kill for him and he can move on. Turns out nobody ran by, so not a big deal. He moves on and he keeps rushing around a little bit. As he's pushing up here with his SMG, you can see that he's scanning the really popular areas. So he's scanning that control room. He comes up here, he's using cover to his advantage, and these are all really good traits of a solid rusher. Now as he pushes here, this is something that I don't like that he does. Instead of finding cover like behind that cart to his right, he just lays down here and tries to head glitch over top of that. Now that gunfight with that guy that had the shotgun, he should have lost that gunfight if the guy didn't have a shotgun. So if that guy was using an SMG or an assault rifle, he probably would have killed Chase. But for some reason, the enemy was using an S12 on this map, which I don't really understand, but that's the only reason Chase won that gunfight. As he pushes up right here, this is the time where there's a decision to make. He sees the enemy on his screen, and it's very likely that his enemy also sees him here. Now what Chase decides to do is rush straight ahead and go for that face-to-face gunfight, which I personally wouldn't have done because that's basically a 50-50 gunfight. Instead, I would have taken a few steps down the stairs behind cover and then sort of tried to fake my enemy out by coming back up the stairs and using the cover at the top of the stairs to my advantage to challenge that enemy. Now, if the enemy were to rush down the other stairs, I still have the advantage because I now have the height advantage as well as cover advantage against him. So Chase does decide to rush straight on, and it turns out that was the same guy that was using the S12 that he had just killed. Now, to be completely honest, Chase once again should have lost this gunfight. He's face to face with an S12 user within that S12's one-shot kill range. At least I think that's probably the one-shot kill range. If his enemy had a little bit more gun skill, or maybe there was a connection advantage that Chase had over him, Chase should have lost this gunfight. And a Vector against an S12 right here, the S12 should win almost every single time. So Chase kind of dodged a bullet here. Now after this gunfight, he does something that he did earlier, but he does it for a little longer. And that's, he pushes up into this corner and he just waits for maybe an enemy to run by, or I don't really know what he's waiting for. And he waits here for way too long, in my opinion. This has now not become something where he's just taking a quick pause in the corner and hoping an enemy will run by. He's now essentially sort of camping, and he is wasting time. He's wasting very valuable time. If you want to be the best that you can be while being a rusher, you have to keep moving, you have to keep pushing the enemy, you have to stay aggressive. He is playing extremely passively here, and he wastes a solid 10 to 15 seconds by waiting in that corner, and nothing really happens anyways. So I would have personally taken a peek, see if there's any snipers, and I would have kept pushing, and you always want to keep pushing if you want to be an effective rusher. You don't want to be sitting for too long. In this gunfight right here, I love how he jumps into a drop shot. Neither him or his enemy had cover, so usually that's the best thing that you can do is drop shot when there's no cover involved. It's all about limiting your profile while staying on target. This line of sight right here is working out great for him. He's basically invisible to his enemies, or at least very difficult to see, and he's able to pick off that one enemy through there. Now right here, this is something that I can totally understand that he didn't notice, and honestly I probably wouldn't have noticed it either, but it is there. There is a dot that appeared behind him on the minimap. If he were paying a little bit more attention to the minimap, maybe he would have caught on to this dot, but he didn't. But like I said, I can't really blame him for it. Because he missed this though, him and his teammate end up actually getting collateraled by this guy. So as he spawns back in, he pushes back towards that sniper area there, and he notices a lot of dots on the minimap, and then he notices his teammate dies in this doorway. I like how he doesn't push out and just get himself killed really stupidly. He sees that his teammate dies, he knows that's not a safe area, so he backs off to try and challenge this guy. Now right here, I don't like that he has his SMG out in this situation. This is not really the Vector's effective range right now. If that sniper were to use that piece of cover there, those barrels, that sniper would probably kill him unless the sniper was really slow or Chase happened to have perfect accuracy with that Vector. But that is outside the range. I would have had the sniper rifle out in this situation. So Chase decides, instead of waiting for him like that, he's going to go for the flank on this enemy, but I feel like he gets a little bit too much tunnel vision on this. He's exposing himself right now to those longer lines of sight where the snipers are, as he's trying to challenge this sniper, and his aim didn't quite work out against that sniper. It happens, we sometimes aren't always the best with our accuracy, but I wouldn't have challenged that in the first place. He probably would have been better off just backing off and trying something different. So as he spawns back in, this is something that I want to point out with rotation. I think he went the wrong way here. Instead of pushing back towards where the enemies were, he instead rotates in behind his teammates where it's highly unlikely that there's any enemies in this direction. So in my opinion, he just pushed completely the wrong direction here if he's trying to get kills. Now he eventually does get into where the enemies are and he loses this gunfight against the sniper. This is something where I honestly don't blame Chase at all. This is where I kind of blame the game for making quickscoping that easy while being shot with the Vector. He was being shot, he didn't have toughness, and that sniper was still able to quickscope him with relative ease. So I see that as being more of a game issue than Chase's issue. So coming up right here is something that you should never do. He's laying out in the middle of nowhere, like right in the open, no cover anywhere nearby, and he has an SMG and he's trying to challenge these snipers. That is a very, very bad move. All the sniper needed to do, or even a guy with an assault rifle, is head glitch on top of that blast deflector thing, and it would have been a free kill for them, because it was just laying in the open with an SMG. It wouldn't have worked out for him. So here, I like how he's coming around these corners, prepared for a gunfight, checking his corners, being really cautious, and keeping his sights up, always ready for a gunfight. You can see how his hipfire reticle is always ready for a gunfight, and I really like that. And here, once again, really good idea to drop shot when he has no cover against his enemy, and that drop shot quite possibly saved him from being quickscoped there. And the game actually wraps up right around here. I didn't get the score from him, but he did pretty decent this game. He did actually pretty good. He did some things right, a couple other things wrong. Some of the things to avoid is, well, first off, don't sit for too long if you're trying to rush. Being patient is one thing, kind of camping and wasting time is another thing. So patience is okay, but know when you got to keep moving and keep pushing and keep being aggressive. Some of the things I really liked, his accuracy and his gun skill was definitely good most of the time. There was that one situation where his aim was all over the place against the sniper, but most of the time he's got great reaction time and great accuracy. So that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of The Breakdown. If you have any gameplays that you'd like to submit, can be Ghosts or Black Ops 2, then please feel free to send me a link to an unlisted YouTube video that's at least 720p in quality. To either a Ghosts or Black Ops 2 gameplay. Keep in mind, I'm looking for more of an average to below average gameplay. I'm not looking for anything spectacular. You can send that to my email address, which I will link in the description. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.
I missed so many times. Oh. Yes.